Hello peeps, and welcome to another video from Class 47 Peter. And today's video is going to be a locomotive review, and today we're going to be having a look at the AL5, otherwise known as the Class 85 from Bachmann. It was later classified the Class 85 when the top system came in. Before then it was the AL5. And this model we're looking at today is E3058 in the BR Electric blue livery without the yellow warning panels, because it later had the yellow warning panels, but this model has it without them. And this model is the one with the two pantographs. Now I've been after this particular model for quite some time, especially since I'm now starting to get locomotive, especially since I'm now getting electric locomotives for the locomotive fleet. This is electric locomotive number 3 that I have, and before I couldn't get one of these, and I missed out on this when it was first released from Bachmann. But only last week did this turn up on eBay on Rose of Sheffield account. It was up for sale for £99. They had 2 of these, and I was lucky enough to grab the last one, because as soon as I saw this I instantly had to have it. And I'm only now just getting around to have a look at this. But anyway, let's get this model open. So this is the box sleeve that we just removed. On the back we have the brief history of the locomotive, so you can pause and read that if you want to. I will not stop you from doing that. It's up to you though, you don't have to, because you could probably just Google the locomotive and do research on it, but you can read the brief history as I've just shown you if you wish. And there's the model in the box, and isn't she a beauty? So now we're left with the paperwork in the box. So we'll now have a look at these before we move on to the model. So this is the exploded diagram, spare sheet. So basically, if you lose a part or one gets damaged, you can just simply order it from Bachmann's spare service. It even tells you what the parts are as well, which are numbered. It also tells you how to fit the detail parts and the buffer beam, as you can see there, which is quite handy. From the back it talks to you about the tail lights and the cab lights, because there are actually switches underneath the roof box by the pantograph, which we'll have a look at later. Talks about the general information about the model, fitting a DCC decoder and controlling the lights with DCC, that sort of thing. So I'll put that to one side and I'll put that in my folder where I keep my instruction manuals. And then this is the product warranty and the collector's club leaflet and the maintenance and care. So that can be put to one side. In fact, we can put that back in the box. But we also have these, which we have the running numbers and the crests, which these are extra products, as you can see. So I shall be putting those on the model later. Okay, so we move the box tray to one side, and then we remove the outer plastic sleeve, and then we have a look at the detail parts. And we shall do that now. So in the first accessory bag we have these pipes that fit behind the buffer beam. We have some jumper cables, some vacuum pipes and air pipes, and some screw link couplings. And in the other accessory bag we have a spare roof box. So with the detail parts now looked at, we can now finish off the unboxing. So just undo the box clip and we'll gently lift the model out. And then we put the packaging to one side, and we are now left to have a look at the model in detail. So first of all, we're going to come to the weight of the model, and it is quite a heavy model, so there's a lot of weight in this, which is good because we need the weight for the traction, because without the weight there's no traction and this model wouldn't be able to pull any trains. Moving to the detail now, which we have sprung metal buffers, as you can see. So if you like your sprung buffers, they'll keep you happy. I don't have much care for sprung buffers, but they're there. But they are made out of metal though, which is nice that they are made of metal. We also have a NEM tension lock coupling fitted as well. The buffer beam is painted in a nice shade of red, and also you can see the holes for where the detail parts have to be fitted. On the front of the loco we have separately fitted metal handrails, as well as lights which do light up, and you'll see that later, and the train reporting number 1825. We have glazing in the cab windows and separately fitted window wipers. We also have some cab interior detail inside the cab there, as you can see, and that does look very nice. We have the loco's running number E3058 crisply printed on the sides there on the cab, and we have this little latch there with some rivet detail around it on the side there, which looks very nice. We have some glazing in the door there and some separately fitted metal handrails there on the sides. We have glazing in the windows on the body side, as you can see, and also there's even some detail inside there as well, as you can see, which looks stunning. And of course we have a wealth of rivet detail on the sides as well, on the body. Moving to the bogie detail, we have a footstep for the crew to climb up into the cab, axle boxes and springs, and some pipework which is painted. And then underneath we have a battery box, at least that's, I'm assuming, what it is. On the other end of the loco, the detail is more or less the same. Separately fitted metal handrails, glazing in the cab windows, and separately fitted window wipers. The train reporting number on this end is different. It's 6K58. We also have a NEM tension lock coupling as well on this end of the loco. And just like on the other end, we have sprung metal buffers. And in this end of the cab we have some crew. We have a driver in there and a second man, or believe it would be a second man in this case, inside the cab, and they look really nicely detailed as well. Now we move on to the detail on the roof, and first of all we're going to talk about the roof box there, which is removable, as I mentioned earlier. And the roof box is very easy to remove, like so, and inside there you can see those two little switches inside there, and so basically they're for the lights, basically either the cab lights or even the tail lights, so you can choose to have them on or off basically, and that actually is quite a nice feature that they've done this. We also have this bit of detail on top of the roof as well, which I believe might be some sort of generator, I think. I'm not 100% certain on that, but it's there. On the roof we have some pipe work as well, and that's separately fitted and made of metal. Then of course we have the pantographs, which are also made of metal, and the detail on these really is excellent. And I'm going to lower the one pantograph because prototypically it would have only ever ran with the one pantograph raised. At least that's based on photographs I've seen of them in this livery with the two pantographs. They've only ever had the one raised. You could run it with both of them raised if you wanted, but I'm just going to have it as the one raised. And we'll do that like so. Now to raise and lower the pantographs, it is quite fiddly. As you can see on the pantograph just there, you can see there's a little hole. And down here on the pantograph itself you can see a little clip to hold the pantograph in place. And basically, to lower the pantograph you have to simply clip it into place, because obviously it will not stay up on its own, as you can see. To raise it you have to simply undo the clip, but it is quite fiddly, I have to say. But that is my only criticism I have with the model, if I'm honest, because it is quite fiddly. It took me 5 to 6 minutes to get them both lowered, because when I first opened it out of the box, the pantographs, they hadn't been clipped into place, so I decided to clip them into place for the sake of this review. This one here, it was easy to do, but this one here, it was a bit of a nightmare. Moving on to the livery now, and I do absolutely love this livery. It's absolutely gorgeous. You know, the BR Electric Blue is a beautiful livery. A very nice even coat of paint, no errors in the paintwork. It's all very nice and even, the correct shade of blue. And I do love the white cab roofs on both ends, and the light grey colour around the windows on the cabs as well. It's, you know, it really is stunning, this livery. And it really is eye-catching as well, and it really does pop out at you. And of course we have the crisply printed crests on both sides, and the detail on these is quite stunning. And on the other side of the loco, detail is the same with the exception of the lack of windows on this side, as per the real locomotive. We do have lots of textile grills on the body sides on this side. But apart from that, the rest of the detail is pretty much the same. And of course we have these boxes as well underneath the frames of the loco, as you can see, with some nice rivet detail on them. Couldn't leave those out. Now we come on to the running performance of the model, and as you can see, straight from the box, she's a smooth runner. There's no grinding noises, motors burning out, or stuttering movements of any of the sort. She runs exactly as she should, straight from the box. Now before we come to the loaded test run, I want to show you the working lights on this model. As you can see, there are lights in the windows on the body side there, as you can see. There's also interior lighting as well, which you can also see. That's on both ends. Also the train reporting number in the head code there lights up. and one of the tail lights also lights up and coming away from you. Now we come on to the loaded test run, and so we have the AL5 pulling a rake of maroon coaches around the layout. Now there's 6 coaches behind this locomotive, and this shows you why the weight in the models is important. Because if this model didn't have the weight in it, it wouldn't be able to pull this rake. That's why the weight is important. So overall then, the Bachmann AL5, the Class 85, is a great model. The only thing, something I do want to talk about though, is that to have the model with the pantograph raised, I had to do a slight bit of modification. I had to raise the signal gantry a bit more and make some more modification to the bridge over there. I already had to do this with the Class 87 to have it with the pantograph raised. But when I did that, I noticed there was another problem. Because, you see, the pantographs on the AL5, they are higher than that of the pantographs on the Class 87 and the other modern electrics. And this meant that it couldn't get through the tunnel with the pantograph raised. So what I had to do was, I did a slight modification. What I did was, I basically disconnected one of the springs on the sides of the pantograph here, so I could have the pantograph still raised, but at the same height as the pantograph on the Class 87. So without that, I wouldn't have been able to have had the model running with the pantograph raised. And I don't think there's any way I could have modified the tunnel, to be honest. Not unless I completely ripped it off the layout, which I didn't really want to do that. So, that, you know, that's just a little thing really, to be honest. But you know, it's fine, because it means I can still have the model with the pantograph raised. But anyway, it is otherwise a great model. The only criticism I have really is with the pantograph. You know, being quite fiddly to raise and get it lowered. But other than that though, it is a great model. So that now brings us on to the score. And so overall, I'm going to rate the Bachmann AL5 Class 85. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This has been Class 47 Peter reviewing Bachmann's superb AL5. If you can find one of these, do get one, particularly whether it's in this livery or any other BR Blue liveries. I do highly recommend one, especially if you like your electric locomotives like I do. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. Do look out for this model in future videos, and I will be doing a running session video with this model, so that's something else to look forward to. But until then, subscribe to the channel, check out my other videos, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.